It is Monday the 18th of May and we've got a whole lot to go through about everything Games Workshop have announced over on Warhammer Community in the last week. Let's dive on in and see if we can get it under 3 minutes. Kicking off this week, Games Workshop have started their announcements of what the rules are going to look like for each of the upcoming models in the Armageddon launch box. The Dakar rig has got some really cool abilities, including Dakar Blitz, which means that if you're, depending on what you're shooting, if it's a non-monster/vehicle unit, you get +6 attacks, which is really cool, and it's got some pretty good weapons just as a stat line. This thing's going to be great. And in a surprise today, we got a new miniature reveal for Commissar Caiaphas Cain and his buddy sidekick Jurgen, which was not expecting at all, and these look fantastic. Not only do you get them on their individual bases, they'll also come with a diorama base so you can have them in that classic back-to-back pose. This looks brilliant. To celebrate this, there's also going to be a fully illustrated version of the first novel in the Caiaphas Cain series. The illustrations look fantastic, and this is going to be great to pick up if you're a big fan of the series. And that's not the only thing that was actually announced. So last Wednesday, in response to, unfortunately, a leak of this stuff, the Games Workshop released a video showing off their new pre-painted terrain sets. And I've taken some stills from the video here. This looks great. I'm assuming this is some sort of kind of like machine painting that we've seen sort of with other technologies deployed before, but I can't wait to get hold of this and actually look at the detail. And that wasn't all that was in the video. There was a look at some new Orc bikes as well. Look at that. And there was 3 of them here as well. New Orc bike units. No further information on this, but these were in the video with the awesome pre-painted terrain. Let me know what you think about pre-painted terrain. We got more looks at the faction focus as well. We started off with the World Eaters, where you got to see a new detachment for taking things like the Lord of Skulls. Plus, we got a new deeper dive look at the Cleave mechanic. Tau also got the faction focus, and some cool things here as well around about Pathfinders, but also a great way where you can choose Crew or Vespid Stingwings, and basically they have the ability to kind of act a little bit like a Markerlight. It's called Prey Marked, and I think that's going to be really cool use of the auxiliaries for going alongside the Tau's main army. The Custodes was the one I was most excited about because there was a cool new detachment in here all about walkers and dreadnoughts, which makes me kind of think, are we going to get plastic versions of the Galactus and the Achilles and the Telemon that we have in Heresy now ported over and usable in 40k? I really hope so. Death Guard weren't left out either, and they got some really cool new abilities, including at deployment stage being able to give some of your Plague Marines infiltrators, which is going to be very, very cool. And it's just generally, Death Guard just look awesome. The Blight Drone's got a bit of love. Loving this. Imperial Knights got some love too, with their new allied rules, or if they're going in an Adeptus Mechanicus army. Plus, Chaos Knights also got some cool abilities, kind of building on the Fear mode, where they get extra damage if they're hitting Battleshock units, which I think is great. And to see the new rules in action, Games Workshop are going to be doing some live games over on Twitch and YouTube. There's going to be 3 games, the first one with the Armageddon models expanded into 2,000-point armies, a community one of Tau versus Death Guard, and then a rematch of actually the World Championship match between Adeptus Mechanicus and Eldari, which I think is going to be very cool. And whew, I think we made it just under 3 minutes. That was everything that the Games Workshop have announced over the last week. I hope you're enjoying the series, and we'll see you next time for another Warhammer Roundup.